Things just got extremely loud inside the NASCAR garage, and this time it has absolutely nothing to do with what happens on Sunday afternoon. Spire Motorsports co-owner Jeff Dickerson sat down on a podcast and essentially told Joe Gibbs Racing to stop dancing around the truth and actually say what they mean when they are standing inside a courtroom. The moment that clip landed publicly, Denny Hamlin grabbed his phone and unleashed everything he had been holding back. Here is the full background on how this situation developed into what it is today. Chris Gabehart spent over a decade building his career at Joe Gibbs Racing. He joined the organization back in 2012, steadily worked his way through various roles, and from 2019 through 2024, he served as Denny Hamlin's crew chief. That partnership produced 22 race victories, 2 Daytona 500 wins, 1 Southern 500, and 3 appearances in the Championship 4. By any objective measure, they were one of the most productive driver and crew chief combinations the sport had seen in years. In 2025, JGR promoted Gabehart to serve as their competition director. But things deteriorated quickly. Dickerson later described the internal friction as something you could literally hear happening over team radios during races, particularly on the Ty Gibbs car. The entire garage sensed something was wrong. On November 6th of 2025, Gabehart sat down with Joe Gibbs directly and expressed his desire to leave the organization. Gibbs agreed to let him go. But here is precisely where the legal trouble ignites. JGR claims that the very next day, November 7th, Gabehart copied a significant collection of company files directly off his work laptop before departing. Several months later, on February 9th of 2026, he was officially released from his position. Approximately 1 week after that, he began a new role at Spire Motorsports, carrying the title of Chief Motorsports Officer. And on February 19th, Joe Gibbs Racing filed a federal lawsuit seeking more than $8 million in damages. Jogger described Gabehart's actions as a brazen scheme to steal their most sensitive competitive information and deliver it to a direct competitor. Within days, Spire Motorsports itself was added as a named defendant in the same lawsuit. So what exactly does JGR claim was taken? Their forensic team's findings were striking. Investigators located a folder on Gabehart's personal Google Drive account, literally named Spire, containing a subfolder labeled Past Setups. JGR says the stolen material included detailed race notes spanning the entire 2025 season, internal employee compensation records, sponsor, revenue figures covering 2024 through 2026, proprietary tire data, and simulation tools the organization had spent years developing. Hamlin filed his own declaration with the court, describing this collection of information as the crown jewels of everything Jaeger had built. The organization estimates they invested between $15 and $20 million constructing these competitive systems over 5 years. Gabehart's version of events is fundamentally different. He maintains the folder was created simply as a personal reference while he was privately considering whether to accept the Spire position. He voluntarily paid from his own funds to allow Jaeger to examine his laptop, his phone, and his complete Google Drive contents. He offered to permit a neutral independent expert to search Spire's entire systems for any trace of Jaeger material. He even offered to cover $50,000 of Jaeger's legal expenses simply to resolve the dispute without prolonged litigation. The presiding judge, Susan Rodriguez, delivered a ruling that gave both sides something to work with. She determined that Gabehart's non-compete agreement appears valid and enforceable. She agreed the data he copied qualifies as protected trade secrets. She blocked him from performing certain job functions at Spire. But she also made a critical finding that significantly undermined Jaeger's most aggressive claims. She stated there is currently no actual evidence that Spire possesses any of the allegedly stolen information. She described that particular accusation as speculative at best. Then, Carson Hocevar won at Talladega. It was only the second Cup Series victory in Spire Motorsports history. Jaeger moved quickly to file additional court documents, essentially arguing that Spire's improved performance was direct evidence of Gabehart's stolen information, providing a competitive advantage. They requested the trial be accelerated to November or December of 2026. Spire's public response was perfectly timed and delivered. They posted publicly that considerable attention had been focused on Spire having only one Cup win. They noted that the allegation was now factually incorrect and requested the record reflect they had won twice. That brings everything to last Thursday, when Dickerson appeared on the Gluckcast with Jeff Gluck and delivered his most direct public comments yet. He described the personal toll the lawsuit has taken on him and his organization. He expressed how genuinely difficult it is to sit in a courtroom and be publicly characterized as a liar, a thief, and a cheater, while the opposing side has repeatedly failed to produce concrete evidence when judges have specifically requested it. He stated his team has operated correctly throughout this entire process and has not taken a single shortcut anywhere. Then, Dickerson arrived at his most explosive point. He revealed that JGR has been sending legal subpoenas to multiple Chevrolet teams, including Trackhouse Racing, Haas Factory Team, and Rick Ware Racing. But notably absent from that list is Hendrick Motorsports, which happens to be Spire's actual, official technical alliance partner. A partnership that has produced 320 combined victories. Dickerson stated directly that JGR is deliberately avoiding Hendrick because they lack the confidence to confront that alliance in open court. His exact characterization of their reluctance was unambiguous and pointed. He accused JGR of attempting to damage Spire's reputation in front of the broader industry, in front of sponsors, and in front of fans, purely because they have the legal resources to do so. He also pushed back forcefully against the suggestion that Gabehart's presence explains Spire's recent success, arguing that it disrespects the 175 people working at the organization every single day. Hamlin saw the clip and responded on X with zero restraint. He accused Dickerson of hiring someone who stole tens of millions of dollars worth of competitive information, lying about deleted communications, and rewarding that behavior with a salary increase. He also raised separate accusations connecting Dickerson to leaked information from race team alliance meetings, a reference that traces back to controversial text messages surfaced during the 23XI antitrust proceedings. The following day at Texas, Hamlin acknowledged his response was a knee-jerk reaction while also making clear he stands behind every word of it. He explained that his core motivation was feeling that someone had attacked his family, and JGR represents his family. He warned that if teams cannot protect their intellectual property, the entire sport transforms into a financial arms race where the highest bidder simply buys whoever they want, along with everything that person carries out the door. Then came his most personal and revealing moment of the entire episode. He described how the information JGR says was taken represents years of his own personal work, time, and investment that he simply cannot comprehend being handed to a competitor for nothing. When a reporter asked directly whether he feels personally betrayed by Gabehart, Hamlin went completely silent for 5 full seconds. He nodded 3 times. Then he turned and walked away without another word.